Welcome to AIWF Worldwide, the official podcast of the Allied Independent Wrestling Federation. This is the program where you'll hear news, in-depth interviews, and analysis of the fastest-growing sanctioned body in wrestling today. All from the comfort of your smartphone or computer. Here is your host, the voice of AIWF Mid-Atlantic, Scott Eiland.
Well, hello, AIWF fans, and welcome to the inaugural edition of AIWF Worldwide, the audio edition. My name is Scott Eiland. I am basically the voice of the AIWF. You can check us out at AIWF.net or AIWFMidatlantic.com for my specific program. You can catch us up every week on YouTube, youtube.com/AIWF Mid-Atlantic. And this is basically an audio program that we're going to end up eventually putting on iTunes as a podcast for AIWF fans, whether they be in the Mid-Atlantic region or all over the world. As we know, we have about, I believe, 23 affiliates in the United States and all over the globe, and that's growing. We have basically kind of revamped the affiliate program, and it's really kind of popping. And the biggest reason I can think of is the viability of the AIWF World Championship. And things took a turn recently when Justin Overstreet, after a very long reign as champion, was defeated by my first guest on this program. He is the current reigning AIWF World Champion, my friend and yours, Damien Wayne. Damien, say hello to the AIWF audience.
Yes, it's very good to be with you, Scott, and it's a pleasure to be your first guest on your inaugural AIWF podcast there, buddy.
Yeah, man. We've tried this before in several different kind of ways, but we've decided to kind of go with an interview form, kind of one-on-one to start, and eventually we'll have some panel discussions. But I really wanted to sit down with you one-on-one and discuss with you the recent happenings around the AIWF. Now, as I understand it, you've been defending the belt. You recently came back from Texas. How was that?
Oh, that was a very awesome experience. I was treated well out there. Rudy Gonzalez and AIWF Texas treated me like, I've been there all my life and part of the family, so it was a great experience. Wrestled Rudy Russo twice. Very, very well-deserving, tough competitor. But as you can see, I came back home with my AIWF World Championship, so that was a good thing.
Well, congratulations. Obviously, Rudy Boy Gonzalez, very well known to the AIWF audience. He, at one point, was running the wrestling school with none other than the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, back in the late 90s when Shawn was recovering from a very bad back and knee injury. So he's kind of been around the best, and he knows how to train. He's taught the folks in our local Mid-Atlantic, arena as it is. And so Rudy Boy, his name really needs no introduction. He's a phenomenal teacher, and it must have been really interesting being around his students.
Oh yeah, it was a pleasure to finally meet him. Like you just said, I've heard all of his credentials and stuff, and it was a pleasure to finally meet him and all of his students. Very, very well taught, and some of them you can really see some good potential in them.
Excellent. Well, obviously that region of the country is always booming. I think I'd like to see the state of Texas get a little bit more AIWF in it. We'll see how. I'm sure it was successful. We'll see how that goes overall. But then you came home, and you had to deal with none other than the helmet-clad North Carolina champion, Ty Tyson, who has his eyes on your belt. Now, Ty Tyson's kind of a rising star here in the AIWF. I'd be interested to see how you see Ty and as a talent and as a threat to your title.
Well, I'll tell you and all the folks out there listening right now the same as I told him face to face this past Saturday night. Is I know all about Ty Tyson. I've rode the roads with Ty Tyson. I've battled him in the ring many, many times. So, it's like I told him, he didn't need to scream and holler and get all angry with me about wanting and deserving a title shot. I know the kid deserves a title shot. And it's like I told him, I know when the kid gets in the ring that he can go. But, you know, I don't know what's gotten into his head, but, you know, I'm ready to give him a title shot. Now, if the creative control, whatever you want to call them, two goofs, want to keep playing games, then, you know, I'll take it elsewhere to another different promotion and give the kid a shot if he wants it that bad. But, you know, all he had to do was ask. He didn't have to come at me the way he did. But, you know, so be it if he feels like he's being dissed by me or whoever, he can feel that way. But, you know, it's like I told him in the ring, I'm ready to wrestle any and everybody. I'm not going to make this AIWF World Championship truly mean that it is the top belt in this profession.
Well, I believe it's about to be announced, and if it has been already, I'm not sure. But it looks like you're going to be facing him at Deal with the Steel coming up August 17th inside a steel cage. I believe that the last time Ty Tyson was in a steel cage in the AIWF, he had to be helped from the building. I think he's got his eyes on redeeming himself. The best way he can figure is to poke the bear, as it were, and you happen to be the one holding the title. It's going to be a fantastic match, and I hope. I'm just kind of wondering, how do you approach something? Usually it's more than just a tag match that would lead into something like this. But we're going from a tag match in July, which ended, and I want to talk a little bit about that, to Deal with the Steel coming up. In the steel cage, how do you approach something? And you haven't really, you know, it's been a while since you guys have been in the ring against one another. The stakes are going to be a lot higher this time. Does the approach change inside the steel cage with the basically this is our signature show? Does that change your preparation at all? And what happens when the light is a little brighter?
For me, nothing changes. It seems like for the last few years, you know, everybody's out to prove something against Damien Wayne. So, yeah, I'm ready for it all. And cage match, I'm right at home inside a cage match. I mean, Scott, you know me. You seen what, you know, I ain't scared to fight. I ain't scared to brawl. And being inside a cage, you know, hey, I'm right at home inside a cage. And for Ty and me to go straight into that, hey, if that's the way the cards fall, that's the way they fall. If it's a regular match, cage match, no DQ, pinfall count anywhere, it doesn't matter to me. Nothing changes. I go into that ring night in and night out just to prove that I am the best, that I am the AIWF World Champion for a reason. And, you know, if the time comes to where you know, he may get that upper hand on me, hey, so be it. Like I said, the kid can and will be a world champion one day, but I think right now I'm still just a little better than him.
I kind of concur, but I don't want to make a pick yet. I'll do that in the show next week, or possibly when I release my August 10th program. But as far as let me put it this way: you've got, he's walking around talking about how he's got creative control in the bag. That Rick Diesel and Chuck King have their reasons for supporting him. For the reasons, and obviously between those two and TR Superstar, he's got a lot of voices in his head, but also a lot of support. So it could kind of go both ways. You had a little bit of an ace in the hole a couple weeks ago when we thought it was going to be a handicap match, 2-on-1, you against TR Superstar and, of course, Ty Tyson. But you had a little Dixie-sized ace in the hole by the name of Rob McBride. Talk about what happened that night and how and have you ever heard a cheer like that in your career?
Surprise, surprise, surprise. You see, being the world champ, it does have its advantages here and there. So just let me put it that way. Me and Rob go back way, way, way back. Not always seeing eye to eye, but I think that evening we both saw eye to eye, and we had one thing in common, and that was eliminating Creative Control, Ty Tyson, and TR Superstar.
Well, obviously nothing was decided that night, as Ty Tyson used a foreign object to get pinfall on Rob. But the way I see this is just getting. I mean, you guys had to be separated by just about everybody in the locker room. They almost got me in the ring. Not quite. We haven't gotten that far yet. But when you guys had to be, I mean, it's gotten to a point where it's heated, and the hatred is there. It's almost like he's got this chip on his shoulder, does Tyson. From what I can tell, it's sort of like you feel like you've been swatting him off like a fly, but it's gotten. But that match really kind of raised your ire. Are you at that point where? Are you out for blood? Is my question. How does the fact that this is a steel cage match coming up? I know that it's dangerous. I know that with all the caveats involved, are you looking forward to getting him inside the steel cage with nobody else involved?
Well, it's like I said earlier, if he wanted a shot, all he had to do was ask. He didn't have to come at me the way he came at me. So that kind of disturbed me. I blew it off. But, it seems like the more and more he keeps running his mouth, acting like I'm scared of him or I'm dissing him or I don't want to give him a shot. Things like that used to just blow right over my shoulder. But I guess with old age, things like that start to tick me off. And he's gotten me to that point. So, they had to hold us apart, hopefully in the steel cage. Well, I don't see him having any tricks up his sleeve about anything inside the steel cage, but all he had to do was ask there, Scott. That's all that's what I told him in the ring, and I would have been more than happy to give him a shot. So, when he's got TR Superstar in his head, he's got Creative Control. Well, to me, if I was him, I wouldn't think I got Creative Control so much in my back pocket like he might think he is, because if he did, then they would have gave him his shot the other night. But they seem like they're playing with his head also. So, I'm ready.
What's that we said about best laid plans? They don't always come to fruition. But here's the thing: there's a hurdle that's kind of thrown in your path. A week before, Creative Control has ordered a title defense in Princeton, West Virginia, on August 8th. Or wait, is that on August 8th? Let me think. Yep, August 8th. Princeton, West Virginia, where you'll be facing the Chance Prophet for the AIWF World Belt. You've wrestled Chance Prophet before. You've spilled Chance Prophet's blood before. He spilled your blood before. You're no strangers to one another. I wouldn't think you're looking past him, but is there a normal in circles in the red? You've got a date the week before that if you lose that, Chance Prophet takes your spot. So how do you? So talk about Chance Prophet and how you're facing this leading up to Steel to Steel.
Well, to top that one off there too, Scott, one thing you didn't mention is that match is also inside a steel cage. So
that's right.
Yeah. So no, I never ever look past anyone, because almost like in football, you can lose, any given Sunday, you can lose on any given match. All it takes is that one slip up, and we can all make that one slip up no matter how good we are. So I never look past my opponent. And Chance, like you said, we go way back and have some fiery history, so never would I look past him, especially any title match. I take my opponent greatly. There's no reason he would be in that match getting a title shot if he didn't deserve it. So No, I'm not looking past it. I'm kind of looking forward to it because getting my hands on him, I always look forward to getting my hands on him. So extra little special being in the cage, so I can get through that one. I'll definitely be ready for Ty in the cage.
Well, I'm telling you, I mean, I've seen you guys wrestle just a traditional match, spilling blood all over the place, using everything and anything in the arena. So throw a cage into it, and it just becomes that more, brutal. And the AIWF for years has been known as one of the most violent organizations in the world. I mean, heck, back in the 90s, they thought, the PWI said that it needed to be banned. And so, when you bring back the first all-cage match, you've got a cage match in Princeton, West Virginia, which that building's going to fill up for that. It just seems like things are really kind of on the upswing here at the AIWF in the Mid-Atlantic region and around the world. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next. Have you thought about possibly taking the belt overseas? Have you considered the opportunity of defending the world belt in places like Australia, where we have affiliates, possibly Puerto Rico? I'm sure that your phone rings off the wall. It must be a kind of an honor to say, hey, people around the world kind of want to see me wrestle, want me to see me defend the belt in other countries, and it's kind of interesting in the independents to have that happen.
Well, I said when I won the belt that I had belt, I have boots, I have passport, I will travel. So I'm out to make this belt mean the world. I've always thought that the man makes the championship don't make the man. So it's up to me, and I'm doing and busting my butt to. I don't want to say I'm the only one, but I want to put this company on my shoulders and bring it to the forefront, which I think I'm doing a pretty good job at right now. It's getting a lot of attention. Like you said, I'm getting a lot of phone calls. I'm getting a lot of places to go. Some of the top talent seems that they want to come to the AIWF now, and that's all the better. The more guys I can get involved, because they want a shot at me and a shot at that belt, and the better. So I'm doing all I can, buddy.
Well, we really appreciate it here at the AIWF, Damien. You've been a fantastic champion in a short time. I'm sure. You're going to be very tough to beat now. Ty Tyson's going to be a really tough competitor in the middle of August, and leading up to that, having to deal with Chance Profit first is going to be quite a challenge. So I wish you luck. And I thank you for being the first guest on AIWF Worldwide Audio.
It's my pleasure, Scott, and I appreciate it. And like I always say, we wrestlers need to thank guys like you also, and getting our name and help supporting indie wrestling.
Absolutely, sir. Hang on 1 second, because I got one more thing for you after we wrap. So, folks, check AIWF.net for our worldwide audience, and AIWFMidatlantic.com for the local North Carolina affiliate that I am the voice of. You also can check out AIWF on YouTube. We have a West Virginia broadcast team and a North Carolina broadcast team, in addition to the occasional Johnson City, Tennessee. The AIWF Mid-Atlantic region is booming, and so definitely check that out, and you can follow us on YouTube. And you can check me out. I'm Scott Eiland on Twitter. That's EILAND. You can also like us on Facebook as well. So if you're a promoter and you'd like to be an AIWF affiliate, please reach out to Matt Classic on Facebook. You can find him pretty easily in my friends list. And you can also email AIWF. I'll list the I forgot the email. I'll list the email in the show notes for today's podcast. For Damien Wayne, this is Scott Eiland for the AIWF. Thanking you so much for listening to this first podcast. We'll be back next week, and I'm looking at possibly getting Kevin Phoenix for my next interview. So check that out then. Kevin Phoenix, of course, the former AIWF Mid-Atlantic champion, a rising star in his own right. So for everyone here at the AIWF, this is Scott Eiland signing off for now. I want to thank you for listening, and good night.